Hello everyone, hope you all are doing great. Welcome to my channel IELTS Easy with Priya. If any of you is preparing for academic IELTS test and you are facing some troubles in writing task 1, that is graph, as everybody knows that writing consists of basically two tasks. Task 1 is a graph and task 2 is an essay, and both the tasks are of again various types. For example, graphs are basically of 6 types. First is bar graph, line graph, table graph, pie chart, flow chart, diagram or maps. You can get in any form, either single or in double form, and though everybody knows that the task 1 weighs less than that of task 2. So students keep on paying more focus on task 2 only, and that leads to a poor score, or sometimes they lag behind with only or a slight 5.5 band. So you have to again put equal efforts on task 1 too, and trust me, this is the easiest to write and would help you to boost your score dramatically, as you can learn to write it in an easy manner, and there is nothing that you have to care about, whether it is idea or about cohesion and coherence. For that you have to be very careful about the synonyms. There is a certain limit or certain kind of words that you can learn or prepare about them and can use in any graph easily. So today we are going to focus on bar graph. Here is the picture on your screen. Please have a look. So the question is, the chart shows components of GDP in the UK from 1992 and 1992-2000. So what are the keywords? What you have to keep in mind, first of all, what is this chart? Can you see the bars here? Yes, of course. So this is a bar graph, or it's a bar chart. So what does the question state? It is very important to understand the question to choose the subject of your graph or your sentence. If you make a mistake in that, it can totally spoil the sense of your writing. Look here, the chart shows, what does it show? Components. Components like contributing factors of GDP. GDP means gross domestic product. If you do not know the full form, don't worry, it is already given in the graph. In the UK, so where it is given, it is in the UK, and the time duration is from 1992 to 2000. So before starting your writing graph, we have to analyze what does the information state. First of all, you have to be very careful about the tense to be used in this task. You know what tense it is, 1992 and 2000, past. So we'll be very careful that only and only past tense will be used to describe the BPs. As everybody knows, this task is to be written in 4 paragraphs. First is introduction. Second BP, you have to write your overall or your conclusion here. BP 3 and 4 will be about the description or the details of the paragraph, and you are supposed to write it for around 150 words, and do not worry if you exceed slightly. You can go up to 180 words, but keep in mind, under length or under word, it can again spoil your score. So look at the question. What does the picture states? Here, 2 components. One is IT industry and second is service industry. 2 components are given. What they contribute in? They contribute in the GDP of a country. You can even make a pie chart to understand the same. Two contributing factors, IT industry and service industry. Their role in the GDP in different years. See, in 1992, the IT sector, that one is sky blue and service sector is the purple one. Make comparison, try to form a line that how does it flow. See, in 1992 it was 4, the purple one like the service sector, 4, 6, 7, 7.5 something, and finally it is 8. So in all the years, the margins, the profits which contributed in the GDP of UK were continuously increasing. Look at the other side. First one 6.5, then it is 8, then slight fall, like around 8 you can say, it's 12 and it is 14. It kept on increasing in all the years. So be careful, or note one thing, you have to choose your vocabulary here again. So what trend does it follow? It goes with an increasing trend in all the years. GDP was like the share of IT sector and in service sector was on an increase in all the years. So first of all, we will start writing the introduction. How you are supposed to write your introduction? Look at your screens. So we are given the question, the chart shows components of GDP. You have to underline and you have to find out what synonyms or what words can be used. Look at mine. The proportion of GDP, we are about to write it in a passive form as the question is in present active. We will write it in passive form so that we can get a better score in grammatical range. The proportion of GDP from IT sector and service industry. Two proportions. The proportions of GDP, sharers of GDP. Proportion of GDP, like GDP क्या है हमारा amount है, from two sectors in Britain. UK can be written as Britain. So we are given a time period is 1992. From 1992 to 2000. So you can make a difference of writing between 1992 and 2000. It is depicted by the given bar graph. So to write the time differently, you can even write it. Please check. For a period of around 8 years, commencing from 1992. This way again. Or if you find in writing in an passive sentence difficult, don't worry, you can write it in the active form again. For example, the word we chose, the proportion, it is the amount or the percentage. Proportion is the word that can be used for both, whether it is amount or it is number. You can write the percentage or the amount of GDP. Amount of GDP from IT sector and service industry in Britain is depicted by the given bar graph. It is the same passive sentence. If you want to write in the active form, the given bar graph or the given bar chart illustrates, enumerates, delineates or shows. You can choose any word of your choice. What does it show? The percentage or the profits, the amount of GDP from two different sectors for a period of 8 years, commencing from this. You have to mention period kahan se shuru ho raha hai. It is commencing from 1992 and the examiner can add on 8 years in that. So it means it is clear till 2000 in Britain. So the Britain will come at the end. So it can be written both ways. Now let us come to the passage 2. Passage 2, we always write overall or the conclusion of the graph at this place. What do you think, guys? What does this graph state, or what conclusion do you get out of this graph? It is usually suggested to write at least 2 sentences in your overall. And one more thing that you have to keep in mind, a note. You are never supposed to mention the figure over here. You are never supposed to mention the data's over here, the percentage or the amount. So never do the same. So how will we write? See, as we already planned our task 1 before writing, we saw that both the shares were kept on increasing. So look how we are about to write the same. The proportion of GDP contributed by IT sector is more than that of service industry. Please make a look. देखिए, in every year the contribution of IT sector is more in comparison to the service sector. So can we make a comparative sentence here? The proportion of GDP contributed by IT sector is more than that of service sector. We have used that of, it means the percentage or the share. Full stop. Then we are about to add some other information, a different information, a contrasting sentence. We have used a connector. That is, while the figures of both the sectors increased throughout the year. So this way we have written this overall. Let us move towards BP1. So here we are supposed to write every detail so that examiner can get to know what does the survey tell us about this information. So we are about to start our BP1. So you can continue with the connector. It can be vividly seen that, or in the beginning, or initially. Fine, it's of your choice. What do you want to use? See what we have chosen. It can be vividly seen that in 1992, please focus always on the initial year before starting your BP1. The revenue. So again we have used a synonym for the income, for the profits, as it is GDP. The revenue generated from IT sector and service sector was 6% and 4% respectively. So we have framed a very simple sentence. After 2 years come upon 1994. So instead of writing 1994, we have used after 2 years the former. The former means किसको हमने पहले mention किया है, that is IT sector. The former increased by around 2%. Look at the percent, and the letter also followed the same. Instead of writing both of them followed 2% or both of them increased 2%, we have written it differently. Next, during the year 1996, we have again used during the year 1996. The income generated from IT sector remained almost constant. See, how does it remain constant? See, from 6 to 8 it has reached, and it is almost same. So that is why we have written almost constant. Whereas the profits from service industry went up slightly. See, in 1994 and 1996, the profits remained almost same. Though there is a slight fall in 1996, that is why we have used the word almost in this sentence. By giving you information by 1996, we can now change our BP. So 2 years are mentioned or left to be mentioned. So here we will be continuing, either writing probing ahead, or you can write scrutinizing further, moving ahead, comma. You always have to be very careful about the use of comma. Then in 1998, see what we have done. Look at your screen. The percentage of profits from both the sectors doubled the income generated in 1992. See, in 1992, the figures were 6 and 4, while in 1998, the figures are 12 and 8. So just to make a comparative sentence, we have compared this 1998 with 1992 so that we can make an effective sentence. In the final year, Service sector contributed around 8%, that was almost similar to the margins earned 2 years back. See, the difference of writing your sentence makes a great, again, impression upon the examiner. However, the amount earned from IT sector reached at its peak finally. So this way we are about to end this. I hope this video will be of great help to those who are finding it difficult to write task 1. If you have any queries, do not forget to mention in the comment box. And don't forget to share the video with your friends. And if you like the video and the content, please like the video and subscribe our channel so that you can get more videos and remain updated with the lessons we provide on our channel. Stay connected, stay tuned. Thank you. Goodbye.